So hey, Jaden Fox here. Welcome back to Your Cosmic Relationships, The False Light. And this is program number 4, False Light in Love and Relationships. How love and relationships have been manipulated on this planet. So this is video 4. If you have not yet seen video 3, 2, or 1, you're going to want to do that, or some of this may not make sense. In the previous videos, we were looking at how to clear false light that comes through the New Age spiritual movement, and we've been looking at how to clear the false light that's just kind of embedded in our culture, especially in the right-wrong paradigm. Today's topic of love and relationships is a kind of an in-depth look at both of those put together in relationships. So what if relationships have been manipulated on this planet for a long time? And I'm going to show you that in the mythology of this planet, and in the programming conditioning, you've actually been warned and bluntly told, we're going to manipulate your relationships. You've already been notified. How? Well, take a look at this. So you get the mythology of Cupid. So Cupid originated, kind of best anyone can figure out, is in Roman mythology. They found it as this winged being that would fly around and would shoot an arrow at lovers and cause them or impel them to get in love with each other. I wonder what that means. So that once the arrow strikes the intended victim, lover, that person would fall hopelessly and helplessly in love with the other person, and they would live happily ever after till death do they part. And so this got passed down through eons from the Romans into the Greeks, and as it evolved, as people started to engage this paradigm more, they started to recognize this isn't exactly all it's kind of made out to be. And so as you start digging back, they start talking about, well, it's not just the being that gets people in love. It also has to do with slighted love, and sometimes even the opposer of love. It gets in the way of, or puts obstacles in the path of somebody getting into love. And while it's often think of as this just kind of innocent child, the Greeks actually referred to it as Eros, who is actually an older and not so pleasant god, who actually was about the yin-yang principle and creative power and harmony. But when they actually defined, and I'll read this quote to you, Eros was no meddlesome god to the Greeks, but a powerful god to be feared and to entreat. His or her arrows burned with the fire of lust and madness, as well as romance. At its worst, capable of driving men and women to betrayal of their families, countries, to rape, to murder, and to suicide. Ooh, okay. So not the little cherub that's just shooting the cute little arrow and causing people to fall in love. They started to realize that this paradigm actually has more negative consequences, if you were. My contention is, or what I'm trying to bring forward here is, what if you were warned in advance that if you engage the false light paradigm of relationships, your relationships are going to be messed with? I love this picture of the angel blindfolding the person as their hands are tied behind their back and they're trudging through life. Like, whoa. Okay? So what if you have already been formally notified? And basically what it does is they've set up a paradigm of this special way of love. And if you buy into that way of love, then you get shot by the arrow of love, and then these things happen, and you experience this other form of love. And that's actually what it's like. It is another form of love, and it goes deeper. It goes into the synthetic range of love. So we looked at in the previous episodes, there's the authentic biological range, and then you go up into the synthetic range. It takes you up into the synthetic range of hyper love or super love. And if you've experienced this, you'll recognize this. If you haven't and you have always wanted to, I'm not saying it's bad. It's a cool experience. I've experienced it many times. I wouldn't do it anymore. And let me show you why. Let me show you how this is put together. Because what actually happens is as you align and agree with that, you engage this bigger picture of things. So let's do a little bit of clearing around this. So what is all the unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, disinformation cloaking, Wernicke's commands, booby traps, covert, unseen, unacknowledged, undisclosed energies and frequencies around all this? This is the stuff that blocks your awareness of these paradigms. And everything that all that is, can we put that in the pile? Yep. And all the covert, unseen, unacknowledged, undisclosed energies around this. And all that in the pile. And everything from down below, all these frequencies, everything back behind, everything from up above, way out front, from the left, in the pile, from the right, in the pile. Everything from inside around these frequencies, outside, everything remaining, all in the pile, all in the pile. Take a step back, encapsulate all that, and embody, let go of that. That's not yours, not yours, not yours, not yours, not yours. And can we now shrink all that stuff down to less than nothing? Yeah, I choose that. Boo! And just intend half size, half size, half, 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 half. Gone. Vaporize. And resend, revoke, or can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, just trying to create, make null, void, all these agreements, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void. So let's check on your awareness. This is just my interesting point of view. Let's check on your awareness. So truth, how much is this cupid thing just a story? And how much is this cupid thing a notification of the activities on this planet? There's something on this planet, and I won't talk in depth here, but about they need to notify you. If they're going to mess with you, they kind of need to let you know in advance. And once you start to recognize how they do that, you begin to see clearly more of what's going on. But what if the whole Cupid arrow through the heart thing is actually telling you we're going to mess with your heart? We're going to cause you some interesting sensations here. So allow yourself to go back to your relationships and allow yourself to tap into relationships where you've had struggles and you've had all these emotional challenges and you were heartache and pain and broken and it was horrible and it was love and it was all this tangly stuff. So truth, how much were those relationships unfolding naturally? And how much were those relationships manipulated by unseen forces to your disadvantage? Woo! Okay, so depending on how your relationship is set up, you notice information. If you've had a bunch of relationships that have been manipulated by unseen forces to your disadvantage, let's talk about why that is and how to change that. So, false light programming in love and relationships, it's actually a frequency of love that when you desire that, it causes you to step into a synthetic reality that isn't natural, it isn't biological here. It's actually a synthetic paradigm that has a completely different set of rules. Think of a virtual reality. You're stepping into a virtual reality that false light controls and manages and sets up the rules to. And you're agreeing and actually desiring to function within that reality. And that's what allows that manipulation to take place. If you weren't agreeing to it and choosing that, they couldn't manipulate in your reality in that same way. So here are some indicators of what a false light relationship looks like. And here's how they promote it. Missing a person so much that it hurts. In false light, it's a good thing. It's a way of proving how deep your love actually is, that you miss a person so much that it actually causes you pain. Great. Being willing to die for another person in false light love, that's a good thing. It demonstrates how dedicated you are to that other person, that you'd be willing to die for them. Okay. Being attached to one person for your entire life or for all eternity. Like, I will love you to the end of time. You ever said that? I did. I know. So it's like in false light, that's considered a good thing. And they want you to want that. Being jealous of a mate and their partner, like if they look at somebody else, or if they think about somebody else, or if they even consider liking somebody else or loving somebody else, like to be jealous of them is almost required. Like, you're supposed to be that way. You have to be jealous, or it means you don't really love them. That's a false light paradigm. So not being to go on or live without that person, it's the Romeo Juliet thing. It's like I couldn't live without you. And all the songs that are like, oh, I can't live without you. It's like, that's supposedly a good thing in the false light paradigm. Again, it's another thing that takes you into that synthetic reality. And to die by that person's side is the ideal way to go. Like, if you're going to die, I want to be with you. Right? Okay. Pain, suffering, like that's part of the ideal false light. So if you look at all of this stuff, they're all, where they head to is this paradigm of pain, suffering, struggle, and sacrifice. What if all the false light paradigm is all leading you to engage in a synthetic reality that's actually walking you into suffering, struggle, sacrifice, and pain? And if you've been in a relationship like this, you've experienced that already and you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you feel like you haven't been in one of those, but you're longing for one of those, yeah, pay more attention to what's going on here and see if you're still longing for that after a while. It may be the reason why you've not gotten into a relationship, and we'll look at that later on in episode 5, 6, 7. Maybe why, if you haven't been in relationships, why you haven't. And there's a really good reason for it, and you're starting to see what that is. So let's do a little bit of clearing here. So what is all the unknowable, unspeakable, unseeable, untouchable, undetectable energies and frequencies around all this? All the unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, disinformation, cloaking, Wernicke's commands, booby traps, covert, unseen, unacknowledged, and undisclosed energies and frequencies around all of these things we've engaged so far here. Whew, can we put all that stuff in the pile? Yep, I choose it. And encapsulate, and everything from down below and back behind and up above. There's a lot. Bulldozer. And from the left, from the right, from way out front, everything from inside around this, outside, everything remaining, all in the pile, all in the pile, all in the pile. Take a step back from it, encapsulate all that so it can't run away. And body, let go of it. It's not yours, not yours, not yours, not you, not you, not you, not yours. Your body gets kind of attached to that and thinks it has to maintain those, and so it tries to hang on. Just tell your body, nope, that's not yours, not you, not you, not you. And can we shrink all that stuff down to less than nothing? Yeah, I choose that. Boo! Vaporize, sick vibe, vaporize, sick vibe, vaporize, sick vibe. So it's like, how do they actually promote this kind of paradigm? How do they advertise for you to fall in love like this? Well, it's actually, the more you look around, it is everywhere. It's mostly in pop culture. It's mostly in the media, but the most powerful place that I've ever found is through love songs. Yes. So, more recently, I saw this little Disney clip of these adorable mountains. Actually, it's a legend in Hawaii of these mountains that are longing for each other at a distance, and the suffering and pain that they experience of not being able to come together in love.
Living all alone in the middle of the sea, he sat high above his bed, watching all the couples play, and wishing that he had someone too.
Whoa, okay. Like it's romanticized, it's promoted in the culture. You see it so often, you hear it so often that it becomes normal. I remember growing up to, I'm dating myself, but that's okay, REO Speedwagon. I can't fight this feeling. So it's like you can't, they want to be in this place where you can't fight the feeling anymore. You surrender to this, you stop fighting with, and you surrender to the false light paradigm of love. I can't fight this feeling anymore. Ooh, okay. Another one I remember singing, I want to know what love is.
In my life, there's been heartache and pain. I don't know if I can face it again. Can't stop now. I've traveled
In my life, there's been heartache and pain, and I don't know if I can face it again. This is a person who's been in false light love before and is contemplating whether they actually want to go back there again. But they want to know what love is. They want to know what that kind of love is, and that frequency of love is. That manipulated kind of love, or that synthetic, expanded, amplified, magnified, manipulated kind of love. They want to know what that kind of love is. So that song is inviting you to be a part of that paradigm. Air Supply, I'm all out of love.
Lying alone with my head on the phone, thinking of you till it hurts. I know you hurt too, but what else can we do? Tormented and torn apart. I wish I could.
I'm lying alone with my head on the phone, thinking of you till it hurts. I know you hurt too, but what else can we do? Because we're in false light love. We're tormented and torn apart. At a certain point, false light binds you together deeply in love. And there's actually a good part to this. Like, there's actually some really cool stuff that occurs. Then the pain and suffering kicks in. Once you're bonded together, and we'll look at that in great detail in later videos. Once you're bonded together, that's when false light not only brings you together, but then tears you apart to create or enhance that suffering and pain and struggle so that you experience a greater form of the polarities of love. It's an experience, yeah? I love the Robert Palmer song, Addicted to Love.
The lights are on, but you're not home. Your mind is not your own. Your heart sweats, your body shakes. Another kiss is what it takes. You can't sleep, you can't eat. There's no doubt.
Right? He's saying it right there. The lights are on, but you're not home. Your mind is not your own. He recognizes, man, when you're in love, like your heart sweats, your body shakes, another kiss. That's what it takes. It's you have to, you're compelled. Your mind is not your own. You are not in charge. You are not in control. He calls it for exactly what it is. I remember hearing this song when I was younger, and I'm like, whoa, like, no, I can't listen to that. It revealed, it said right there what's going on. Like, he's kind of breaking it. He's kind of taking apart. But it's in the popular culture. It's one of the few songs that actually starts back then that actually started to talk about. Nowadays, love songs, there's still the false light ones, but there's more and more that are like calling it for what it is. So, but it's in the popular culture, in the popular media. My favorite movie for false light. Oh my false light. Moulin Rouge, 2001. If you haven't seen this movie and you want to see an example of false light love, it is the whole thing glorified in a beautiful, delicious package. The movie is well put together. You see the pain and suffering that this love relationship creates and how it tears people apart and how it destroys things that are around them.
I require a contract that binds Satine to me exclusively.
He could destroy everything.
I don't care. We have each other.
Make Christian believe you don't love him.
He'll fight for me.
Hurt him to save him.
Whatever happens, no matter how bad things get, we love one another.
Kill the boy.
No!
Tell me you don't love me! This story is about love.
And you're supposed to desire and want that and be drawn into that. Movies, popular culture does that. One of my other favorite examples is the Disney and the Disney paradigm of the Disney princess. And false light is all about getting you to surrender, take no action, and allow somebody else to be your savior. The whole Disney princess paradigm is exactly that. To be mostly docile and wait for this handsome man to come along and rescue you. It's the same paradigm as the original, most of the original religions. There's this savior that is going to save you, and you just need to pray or connect to that individual or that energy. And as you align and agree with that paradigm or that frequency, all will be handled and all will be saved. Your job right now is just to surrender, wait, and take no action. And keep asking for more and keep asking for more. That's the paradigm. That's the false light mantra or message that's behind all of this. And I can tell this brought up all kinds of stuff. And what it brings up is all the stuff that blocks it. And it's like, no, I can't look at that. I can't see that. No, I'm not supposed to see that. I'm not allowed to see that. Ooh, feel that. So this is the stuff that we clear. So what is all the stuff that's up? All the unknowable, unspeakable, unseeable, untouchable, undetectable, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, disinformation, cloaking, Wernicke's commands, booby traps, covert, unseen, unacknowledged, undisclosed energies and frequencies around all of this. Wow, can we put all that in the pile? Yeah, I choose that. And encapsulate all, everything down below, everything back behind, up above, way up front, from the left, from the right, inside, outside, everything remaining, all in the pile, all in the pile, all in the pile. Encapsulate all that. And body, let go of that. Not yours, not you, not you, not you. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Step back. Not you, not you, not yours. Let it go, 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 let it go. And can we shrink all this stuff down to less than nothing? I choose that. Yeah. Boo. Half size, half. Vaporize, liquefy. And let it all go. And now I can feel this has kind of kicked up some energies for people around. So what are all the entities, demonics, creatures, coalition aliens, and their supporters, all the reptilians, parasitics, beings, doings, gods, and other non-contributive, non-symbiotic energies or frequencies, pre-tag, pre-encapsulate, freeze, tap down, trace, scan, ideal, pre-tag, pre-encapsulate, freeze, tap down. And I'm not going to explain that. It's way too complex, but just if you feel this is going to clear active manipulation in your reality, in and around your reality, if you choose to let these go, when I ask you, just say, yes, I choose that. If you don't want to choose it, fine, no worries. Pre-tag, pre-encapsulate. Where were we, the infinite being, when all these energies were created, assembled, modified, gilded, sourced, or at their inception? Pre-tag, pre-encapsulate from all those points. What are all their networks, hives, civilizations, universes, colonies? Wow, customers, clients, shareholders, stockholders, boards of directors, pre-tag, pre-encapsulate all that. Freeze, tap down, pre-tag, pre-encapsulate all. Pre-tag, pre-encapsulate all. Wow. Okay, so we've bound a lot of these active manipulators. And do you choose to now let go of all of these and have them removed from your reality? Yeah, I choose that. Prime Creator and Elbow Prime Creator banish all these energies from all universes, dimensions, realities, planets, virtual reality worlds, and simulations, and do this now. Vaporize, signify, vaporize, signify, banish, anchors, null void, 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 null void. Wow. What is everything you agreed you would do for them, they agreed they would do for you? Was the benefit or value of engaging them not the benefit or value of engaging them? Whew. Can we just try and create all those energies? Yeah. Just put it all in the pile. These are the things that bind those energies from not leaving your reality. And down below, back behind, up above, left, right, inside, outside, everything remaining, all in the pile, encapsulate all. Body, let go of all that. Let go, not yours, not yours. And can we shrink all that down to less than nothing? Yeah, I choose that. Boo. Vaporize, signify, vaporize, signify, vaporize, signify, vaporize, signify. So, common false light spiritual constructs. The biggest one is the soulmate or twin flame. I'll call it flat out a deception. And it's a ultimate relationship that actually, and we'll look at in later programs exactly how this works, but it's the when you bind yourself into this relationship and this synthetic reality with this other person, you can have a relationship that is so manipulated, so thoroughly messed with, that it feels as though that other person is your soulmate, like you've known them forever and ever and ever. Well, actually, I'll just read for you exactly what the manipulation is. You feel this strange, inexplicable sense of recognition when you meet your soulmate twin flame. You see them from across the room and already know you're in love. That's an indication that that longing, that knowing that other person, even if you've never met, is an indicator of a false light manipulation, like a prearranged relationship. Another element, too, you feel as though you finally found the other half of yourself. You seem to complete each other. You feel more yourself than ever before. You feel as though you've been waiting for this person your entire life. You feel an established and immediate sense of intense connection. Sounds juicy, doesn't it? Well, it is. Actually, I can't put it down. It was really cool. I would not do it again, but it was really cool. The setup to it and the getting into it actually feels kind of good. It's an altered reality where you actually have parts of you removed and put in that other person, and part of that other person removed and put into you. And then when you come together, you see this other person, you long for that person because there's a part of you in that other person that you're longing for. What if you're not actually longing for that other person? You're actually longing for the part of yourself that has been energetically transported into the other person. And there's a sense of recognition due to the programming, conditioning, and the part of you that's been put in that other person. So you feel light and this odd sense of expansion when connected to your soulmate or twin flame. When you're connected, the rest of the world seems to just disappear. It's because you actually go into a synthetic container. You go into another reality, and the rest of the normal physical day-to-day world literally does disappear. You frequency match out of this world and into a synthetic reality. Okay, so Your twin flame is a mirror of what you fear and spontaneously desire the most for your own inner healing. Ooh, okay. What that's saying is the other person is going to be a polar opposite in many ways. Many false light relationships are set up where you're attracted to somebody who, I'll just say it bluntly, is going to fuck with you really hard in not a good way. Like they are the opposite of you in so many different ways. And the whole opposites attract paradigm, huh? Well, what if that's a false light paradigm? Because in the authentic world, opposites don't attract so much as similarities attract. And that's what brings people together in natural relationships that evolve and grow over time. The setup relationships are very different. Number 5, you have this feeling that they're going to play a very important role in your life and in your development. Yeah, because you have this programming and conditioning that's installed in your reality. You actually have implanted memories and implanted stories and dream manipulations that actually cause you to desire and long for this person and see them as having a long-ranging impact in your life. They want to bind you together. The ideal false light relationship is one that you're bound together for your entire life, and it creates a hell for the whole rest of your life. That's actually, what if that's what they're targeting? And they do that by intense kind of backstory manipulation that gets inserted into your reality. You both seem so much alike and so perfect for each other. You actually initially get tuned to this person, and you actually only see the goodness and the positiveness of this person. You're blinded to the red flags and the negatives and the things that don't really work. You actually can't see them, although all the people around you do. No matter how many times you try to avoid or leave your twin flame, you're always magnetically attracted back to them. It's like you're meant to be together. Yeah, that's again speaking to the manipulation. Once you've bound yourself to that other person, once you've agreed and then you've engaged these deeper levels of manipulation and agreed to binding to this other person, it is hard to get out of, and for some people damn near impossible, to get out of a relationship that may even be abusive or dangerous or clearly not beneficial for either party, yet you can't seem to get out. The not being able to get out are all the manipulations that are done to bind you together. The magical, the alterations of your reality that are done, and we'll look at what those are. Those are the reason it's difficult to get out is because you've agreed to be manipulated so heavily and so bound together that to the degree that you agreed and allowed that binding to occur, you get really trapped. You have to undo all of that binding to get out. To meditate or pray to find your soulmate twin flame, then wait for them to appear. You have to desire it. You have to call on. You have to invite and invoke these relationships. They don't just happen all on their own, and they don't exist naturally. You have to align with the synthetic system and invite those manipulations into your reality. And frankly, if they don't see that you would be benefited, like if they can't benefit from manipulating you in a relationship, like if they see that that wouldn't work, they're not going to even waste their time on you. So if you've tried to get into these relationships and you've done all of these things and you can't seem to even get a relationship, it's because when you get together in a relationship, it's going to unravel automatically, and they know it's a waste of time. In other words, you may actually be awakened by getting into one of these relationships, or something not to their advantage would happen and something to your awakening would happen. And so they're not even going to attempt it. So if you've been trying for one of these and couldn't, it's because it wouldn't work to limit you in the way they want to limit you. So you might want to let go of that trying. If you have been trying, or this is why they want you to keep longing for these ideal synthetic relationships, because that is this is the package you now can see. So what is all the unknowable, unspeakable, unseeable, untouchable, undetectable, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, disinformation cloaking, Wernicke's commands, booby traps, covert, unseen, unacknowledged, undisclosed energies and frequencies around all this? Wow. And everything that was brought up by any of the things that I've engaged here or talked about, can we take all of this and put this in the pile? Yeah, I choose that. And encapsulate everything down below, back behind, up above, way out front, from the left, from the right, inside, outside, everything remaining, all in the pile, all in the pile, all in the pile. Encapsulate, and bodies, let go of that. Let go, not yours, not yours, let it go, let it go. You don't need that, not yours, not yours, not yours, let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Disconnect from it, let it go, disconnect, let it go, 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 let it go. And can we now shrink all that stuff down to less than nothing? I choose that. Boo! Half. Nothing. Vaporize, liquefy. Rescind, book, you can't reclaim, vaporize, null void, null void, null void, null void, null void. So, how do you get out of all this stuff? So, for those who have not gotten bound into a relationship already, it's just recognizing this untangles it. You need to desire these kinds of relationships in order to attract the manipulators and give permission for the manipulators to come into your reality. And again, we'll look at that a lot in episodes 5, 6, and 7. I'll show you how that happens, how it works, all the details of it. It's really cool stuff when you look behind the scenes. We're going to look behind the scenes. But so if you haven't gotten into one of those, just what we've done so far is going to snap that, because you'll stop desiring this. You'll be like, I see you. I ain't going there. If you have gotten bound into these kind of relationships, maybe even be one in the moment, this is actually the clearing protocol. I wrote this after working with tons of people in getting them untangled. I kind of wrote down notes on my own, and then as I worked with other people in releasing them from the binds and figuring out what all this stuff is, I kept track of things, and I wrote a list of what are the core things. If you take these out, it dissipates, and the binding is gone, and you can separate from it. And this is the core of what I work with people on, is how to clear all of this crap from all of your life, not just your relationships. This is a bit more in depth than I can go to in this program, but I'll give you an overview of what these are, and you can probably figure this out on your own, or you need to come join me in one of my other programs, or a program where we're specifically just clearing relationship stuff. So you want to clear all the points of view that you have, especially about soulmate, twin flame, and all these things that I've shown you here. It's your desiring them and getting into polarity with it that attaches you to it. All the agreements, secured agreements, bindings, and rebindings that attach you to these false light paradigms. Allegiances, alliances, loyalties, diplomatic relations. You want to terminate all the programs and AI connections that get wired in. There are technologies that get involved in this. I'll call them synthetic technologies or biotechnologies. They're more like energetic or frequency-based technologies, but we engage them as programs because they're AI-based kind of things. Clear all the disguised memory implants. So you actually can have memories. What most people in the false light or in the spiritual community think of as past life memories are usually installed memory implants. They're memories taken from other people, and they can be synthetically propagated or transmitted into you. They're beamed at you for long enough that you start to your body creates those patterns in your mind. So what you have is memories that don't have a lot of depth to them, but they feel very alluring, and they're often used to explain why something should be that way. So you agree to being manipulated, and then they insert these memories that justify and give backstory to all the manipulations. So once the manipulation, it helps you to accept the manipulations. Otherwise, your consciousness would just go, no, I don't have any history for that. Out. This gives you the synthetic history for that. All the fantasies and fantasy realities that you created. Once people get trapped, you naturally start to create in these fantasy realities where you can be free. And the synthetic, this false light paradigm wants you to create fantasies about what your ideal relationship would be like. And actually, often those fantasies are given to you. They're programmed into you in advance. You have this fantasy about this person or this circumstance or this situation, and then you experience it as more proof of this is the right one. They don't want you to miss this person. They put a lot of work into messing with you and that other person, and they want you to get it. And so they make it really blunt in every way they know how to mess with you. So those are fantasy realities. So that's the stuff that's your desire for these relationships and what causes that desire. And then you want to clear all the connections that you have with this other person, all the points of view that you have with this other person, all the agreements, secured agreements, bindings, rebindings, allegiances, alliances, loyalties, diplomatic relations, again, disguised memory implants. So it's like you have these connections, these bindings with this other person. The reason relationships are difficult to get out of, that it's not just a choice like, okay, I'm kind of done with this, and it just kind of separates, is because of the bindings. If you have people that you can't forget from your past, or people who keep being drawn back to you, they're kind of stalker type people, like they keep being drawn back to you, they could be bound to you and you not have been bound to them. That can occur too. There can be a one-way manipulation. That's what stalking pretty much is. Or infatuation, infatuated love, where you're in love with them, but they're not in love with you. They weren't programmed the same way you were programmed. So however it is, you want to clear all of the stuff that we've listed here. Return, this is a big piece. Return all the pieces of you, all the pieces that you're holding of them, and all the pieces and recollect all the pieces of you that are in them. So what they've done is they've taken often your gifts and capacities and put them in the other person, things that you want and long for, and they did the same from that other person into you. And so you literally have this energetic package of things in you that feel important and feel like gifts and capacities, and they feel special to you, but they're not actually yours. And they have something that feels special to them, but it's not actually theirs. And what you do is you just choose it. You don't need to be with the other person. You just choose to grab that stuff from them, perceive it, grab it, perceive the stuff in you that is theirs, perceive it, grab it, and then take both of them and swap them. Give them their stuff back and take the stuff back from them, rinse it off under a waterfall or shake off their frequencies, and then bring that back into your body. That's a big manipulation that they do. And so all of the pieces do that. Then return any of the DNA, blood, semen, bodily fluids, or microorganisms that have been swapped. This is the body component of it. When you interact and you start to especially be sexual and intimate, you exchange all of these fluids and you exchange all of these actually microorganisms, and you can leave ones energetically in the other person and in you. And what you do with the other person isn't as much as all of the DNA recordings of all the stuff that you've taken in and all the stuff you've taken in. Just to energetically keep removing it, keep removing it, keep removing it. While it's physical, you can energetically strip it out and the physical ceases to exist after a while. and it doesn't take as long as you think it does. The more you practice that, the easier and the quicker that actually gets. So you can also be bound, your body can be bound by the physicality of semen and bodily fluids that are exchanged. Just intend to strip all of those out of your body, and just keep stripping all those out of your body, and you'll clear that stuff. And what all the fantasies, fantasy realities, and shared fantasies. You can create shared fantasy space with that other person. You want to destroy and create all that stuff. That will keep drawing the two of you back together, and any energetic cords that bind you to that other person. So you'll have these energetic cords. You just grab all of the cords and just keep cutting and then brushing the cords off your body from the front, the back, top, bottom, sides. Just cut all the cords, and just this may take a bit. Just keep cutting, keep cutting. After several days of cutting those cords, they will stop connecting to you, and they will stop recording you, and you stop thinking of them. Basically, if you start thinking about somebody, it's often because they're recording you. If you're a aware person and you find yourself thinking about some person in your past, it could even be a family member, may not even be in a love situation, but if you're thinking about somebody, it's a cording, and you just cut the cord, and that allows for you to be in your sovereign space again. So what is everything that all this brought up, and what is all the unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, disinformation, cloaking, Wernicke's commands, booby traps, covert, unseen, unacknowledged, undisclosed energies and frequencies around all this? Wow. Can we put all that in the pile? Choose that. And encapsulate all. And everything down below. And everything back behind. And everything above. And from way out front. And from the left. And from the right. And inside. Outside, everything remaining. Encapsulate all, encapsulate all, encapsulate all. And body, let go of that. Take a step back. Body, not yours, not you, not you, not you, not you. Let go, let go, let go. Let go, let go, let go, let go, let go, let go. And encapsulate all that. And can we choose to shrink all that stuff down to so small that it becomes non-existent? Yeah, I choose that. Boo! Imagine it getting smaller, 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 smaller. Non-existent. Vaporize, liquefy, vaporize. Resend, evoke, you can't reclaim. No void, 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 no void. No. Intend for agreements to be null void. That's kind of the languaging in this terminology. Null void, null void, null void, null void, null void, null void. And what are all the remaining entities, demonics, creatures, coalition aliens, reptilians, parasitics, beings, doings, gods, and other non-contributive, non-symbiotic energies or frequencies? Pre-tag, pre-encapsulate all, freeze, tap down, trace, share, scan, ideal. And what are all their networks, hives, civilizations, universes, colonies, customers, clients, shareholders, stockholders, boards of directors? Pre-tag, pre-encapsulate all those too. Pre-tag, pre-encapsulate, trace, share, scan, ideal. So there's a network of manipulators that are likely involved in your reality to lesser or greater degree. And my interesting point of view is the more we get rid of them, the less of them there are to keep manipulating you. Pre-tag, pre-encapsulate, freeze, tap down, trace, share, scan, ideal. Pre-tag, pre-encapsulate all. And wow, can we let go of all of, and we banish all these energies from all your dimensions, realities, parallels, virtual reality worlds, and simulations? I choose that. Prime Creator, Enable Prime Creator, banish all these energies. Do this now. Banish, anchors, banish, anchors, banish, anchors, and let them go. Resend, book, can't reclaim, vaporize, no void, no void, no void, no void, no void, no void, no void. Everything you agreed you would do for them, they agreed they would do for you, was the benefit or value, not the benefit or value. Can we destroy and create all that? Yeah, I choose that. Resend, book, can't reclaim, vaporize, sick by, vaporize, sick by, vaporize, sick by. No void, no void, no void, no void. So, hopefully now you have a better sense of what these false light relationships look like. We're going to go again at another level of depth back down in later videos. But for now, this is like we're going to go at layers and layers and layers because it's challenging to see this stuff. So there's a certain repetition that I do here to take you deeper so you keep seeing more and more and more and more. If you find that you've been watching these programs and you're just kind of blurred out, or you fall asleep, or you're having difficulties with staying focused, just keep rewatching them. Keep rewatching them. Keep rewatching them. And you will see more and more and more and more. Every time you'll hear more and more, and it'll become clearer and clearer and clearer and clearer as you keep watching these programs over and over again. That's the design of the program, and that's the energy clearing process. It will do that automatically. Well, you're intending it, but not so automatic. But so in the next program, in program 5, we're going to look at why are relationships so fucking complicated. Okay, I won't put the fucking in the title, but why are relationships so complicated? And you've probably seen, you're getting a really big picture of it, but I'm going to lay it out for you. I'm going to show you why. Because you're not just in relationship with that one other person. You're in a relationship with all kinds of other interesting things when you're in relationship. And it may be the reason why you've avoided relationships. If you've avoided them, becoming aware of this is going to be a game changer for you. So we will see you in the next video.